as this month, the White House Historical Association will be opening the People's House, a White House experience.
It will be an immersive education experience that tells the story of the Executive Mansion. But today we are joined by the official artist of the experience, Charles Fazzino, to tell us more. Welcome back.
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Great.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. All right, you've been here and have created art for some of the biggest moments. We had for the All-Star Game, got some other things. What is this piece that you have?
So it's a piece that really tells the history of the White House, and this museum is all about the history and how many years. And the White House is an important, landmark. It's sort of the center of the world, just like New York is the center of the United States, Times Square. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So so I wanted something that was really going to speak to people when they look at it, and be bipartisan. You look at the piece, it all has to do with the history of the White House, what the china looks like, what the patterns, who made changes in the White House. Like everyone knows, Jackie Kennedy is a big part of this piece because she did so many changes and renovations to the White House. So I picked, there were so many years. I could have probably done 3 different pieces because there was so much to put from each decade. So I really picked and chose, how I was going to do it, and it came out great.
And they came to you to do this, right?
Yes.
Can you believe that you're at this point, right, where people are commissioning you all the time to do artwork?
It's very exciting. I've done artwork for the Marines for the Toys for Tots, a couple of years ago. So that was really, and I got to meet so many people here in Washington, even though I have been coming here for so many years. But this was a real challenge because, how do you put all of these decades into one piece that tells a story? So my work, as you know, is narrative, and and it has a feeling of whimsicalness to it, and it does. It tells a story.
We're showing close-ups of it, but I don't know if the viewers at home can tell. This is completely 3D. Right? 3D pop art is kind of what I mean. This is all. It's just incredible.
Coming off the page.
So as a kid, I loved pop-out books. So in the early days in the '80s, when I finished school, I wanted to make a pop-out book. I couldn't get it published, so I took the pages out, framed them. And people loved them. I showed them at a show, and small little ones. And people loved my artwork with the 3D effect. So everything I do today is 3-dimensional, whether it's a small piece or large pieces. And this piece was, had its own challenges because, it's like, how am I going to fit all this history into one piece? So I happen to be in Amish country, my wife and we're walking, and I go down the street, and I see these shops that had beautiful quilts. So I was looking at them and I went, pop, now I know what to do. Because they, nobody wanted a flag because they all felt it was too political. So I said, okay, how about an American quilt? So each piece of the quilt tells a story about what's going on in the White House. So I put the White House in the middle with the grounds, and then built the history around it in each square. So you could look at this for days.
And
not see everything.
Find a new story.
Find a new story about how it influenced the White House, and the cool, interesting things that have happened through the years.
Is this, so I know people say, I would love to have this one, but you have like replicas that people can buy that will be on sale through the experience?
Yes, so the original will hang in the museum. And then these are the limited editions. They're going to be available, for instance, at galleries like here in town at Tyson's Corners at Wentworth Galleries will be carrying it. You can also buy the limited edition at the museum, and for all price ranges, I made a small, little, tiny 3D one that will be sold in the gift shop to raise money for the museum. And these pieces are just for everybody's pocketbook. And there's still all the detail.
Has the 3D
cut and glued in my studios in New York with all my staff. We do everything by hand. Nothing is cut out with a machine. Everything is cut out by hand, by staff.
It's not like a picture of this that's printed. It's still a 3D.
Yeah, it's all 3D, but it starts off with a drawing and then becomes a print, and then the prints get cut out and then built up into 3D, and then the Swarovski crystals get put on, the glitter. So it's a whole process, really but they're all made by my team and I in my studio in New York.
It's so amazing. And obviously, you mentioned some of the other work you've done, but people can come see you this weekend, right? The Wentworth Gallery?
Yes, and I have a whole collection. I my daughter, it's an actual father-daughter show. My daughter's a graffiti artist in New York, so she's going to be showing her new Sesame Street artwork that she's made for the 50th anniversary of Sesame Street, and I'll have my White House artwork. So it's going to be a really cool show, 2 days.
Proud dad moment, I bet, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
That
thank you for
amazing.
being here. Congrats
yes,
again,
thank you.
as always.
Awesome. It's really
For
cool.
more information on the People's House, head to thepeopleshouse.org, and then you can check out Charles on Instagram at Fazzino Pop Art, and go say hi to him this weekend.
Yes.
Thanks, Charles.
Great.
Thank you.